Hi, my name is Arthur van der Wees and I'm the Managing Director at Arthur's Legal Strategies and Systems based in Amsterdam. We help out customers, public and private sector, in both small and large, in getting the best out of the digital age, in identifying the gains and, of course, identifying the pains as well and try to mitigate those pains. One of the ways in doing that is trying to bridge between what is in regulations and standards towards practical side and concreteness in how to use it on a daily basis. And that's what we would like to help you out with. So today we talk about a combination of personal data and use of personal data and how to protect it in a cybersecurity perspective. So for that, we have come up with a formula which is coming out of the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, even though you will not find it as a formula, but it's basically how we look into how we systemize a certain article. So you can use it hopefully more easy than trying to find it in the regulation. To get there, it's all about notions and try to get your head around thinking in a GDPR way and in a digital age. To start with, we need to move to state-of-the-art thinking and not state of play. The world is dynamic, digital world is even more than dynamic, and the malicious actors around are very dynamic as well. They collaborate, they move, and they change their ways once we have countered their current ways of working. So state-of-the-art is very important to think about. The second one is moving from a process-centric, even perhaps even linear process-centric to data-centric. Follow the data. Where is it? Where does it come from? Which stakeholders are important and how to get there. So it's about personal data and data centricity. The third one is moving from a continual thinking, we do it once a year, we do it once whatever, to a continuous way. So that is going to be difficult because it means continuous monitoring, continuous improvement, continuous considerations. And of course, that's almost impossible, but it's real time and it's part of this domain and it's basically required. The room that you get to do that is to in this domain the GDPR has moved away from a rule-based perspective to a general principle perspective, where the principles, of course, can be more fine-grained. You have the sub-principles and then even more sub-principles, and based on that, you can load your own way of working, and of course, in that way, you can also explain it. All the way down, of course, there will be rules, and it can be coded in our point of view, so it's not impossible at all. Which means that we're moving also from a compliance binary, yes, no, compliancy to accountability. And accountability means that you have a role to play and a co-responsibility and a responsibility within the digital ecosystems. The accountability doesn't stop when you are done because you're part of the solution and you're part of the problem. So, and the other one is part of the solution, part of the problem as well. So you can imagine accountability is very dynamic and needs to be taken care of in order to figure out who needs to do what will act when, and who will act later on when it goes wrong in a certain case. Sometimes things go wrong, and then we better have thought about it in advance. So when you look into the GDPR, and the link is on the slide, the GDPR is available in all the official European languages. So you can find your own language, but the English one, of course, is available there as well. It's a regulation applicable for all member states. So that's very good. It's a union federal regulation. It's general, meaning it's applicable for public, private sector, and any other sector, also outside the European Union. If it relates to personal data of European citizens, then it's applicable. So that's why it's called general and federal, general and regulation. The data protection only concerns personal data, and there are many categories of personal data. We can't dive into that in this video. So now focusing the combination of personal data, data protection, and cybersecurity. In the GDPR, there is Article 32 which takes care of this. And of course, it's you don't need to read the law, even though it's easy to read regulation. In our point of view, you don't need to be a lawyer to understand it. But we made a formula out of it, so it's easier to calculate and to make the right informed decision. And based on it, also start today, and then also able to continuously monitor it. And there are 4 blocks there, 4 elements. One component is state-of-the-art security, which is quite high if we see what's on the market already. The second block is implementation cost and cost of what does it cost to implement those security measures. These could be too high, perhaps justify, take a lower level, just under state-of-the-art or even lower. The third one is purposes. What is the purpose of the use of the data? What is the purpose of the device? What is the purpose of the digital service or the architecture that you are trying to market? And this is, of course, quite important. It can be just very low and convenient level, like leisure. But still, the fourth component is impact. So the second and the third, cost and impact, are trade-offs, but then we get to an increase, which is impact. And the impact can be, it relates to children, it relates to other vulnerable groups of people, it relates to sensitive data, like healthcare data, for instance. It relates to critical systems where people can die, or society can be in great danger. So this is the formula. It's the appropriate level of state-of-the-art security minus cost, minus purpose, plus impact. And that is the balance you need to find. And that is called state-of-the-art accountability. Please bear in mind that, as I mentioned already, the data is very dynamic. The data itself, and data travels, and data is shared, data is archived, and data is destroyed or deleted. So there's a whole life cycle that you need to take into account. It's not only let's say, the customer journey regarding data, the data flow. It's also, what happens with the data? Where does it go to? Is it merged? Is it mixed? Is it enriched, or is it altered? And these all are relevant, of course, when you look into state-of-the-art accountability. At the end of the day, it's about trust and trustworthiness. Appropriate level means it's contextual, it's principle-based, it really depends on the case, on the people, on the stakeholders, what kind of data, what kind of systems, where and why and what. So I hope this helps a little bit with trying to figure out what to do with when you are working in your daily business, how you can help out your team, and how you can help out your customers and your partner. Trustworthiness is something that is a consistency that you need to show through time, and then I think we can get to a very high and very useful and secure and trustworthy ecosystem. So I hope you can help out with that. We will have another video on this, on the trust principles, where we dive a little bit more into the trust-based part. So please follow that one as well. I'm looking forward to that. Have a nice day.